It was supposed to be a normal trip. Pratik Rai, a regular guy, boarded an Air India flight. He was flying from Delhi to Bengaluru on January 21, 2025. He checked his bag, expecting to see it again upon arrival. But fate, it seems, had other plans. When the flight landed, Rai's bag was nowhere to be found. This was the start of a frustrating and absurd ordeal. Air India initially told Rai his bag was in Bengaluru. They claimed it arrived on the same flight. This was false hope. Rai filed a complaint and waited. He was sure his bag would turn up. The next day, Bengaluru staff gave him more bad news. They couldn't contact their Delhi counterparts. The communication breakdown was already apparent. This wasn't just a lost bag, it was a sign of deeper problems. Air India's system was failing, their communication was abysmal, and their customer service was non-existent. Little did Rai know his experience was about to become a cautionary tale for travelers everywhere. Days turned into a week. Rai was no closer to finding his bag, then a glimmer of hope. Air India admitted the bag was never loaded in Delhi. It was a tagging error. The bag was sitting in Delhi's Terminal 3, where Rai's journey began. This was followed by another update. The bag was moved to Terminal 2's Lost and Found. Armed with this information, Rai went to Delhi Airport around February 2, 2025. But fate, it seemed, was determined to test his patience. The Lost and Found was closed. The reason? Elections. Yes, you read that right. A major international airport had closed a crucial service due to local elections. It was almost comical, if it wasn't so infuriating. Undeterred, Rai returned the next day. He was presented with a bag, but it wasn't his. It contained another passenger's belongings, including documents. The airline's incompetence was astounding. They asked Rai to provide CCTV footage. The burden of proof was on the victim, not the company that lost his belongings. Frustrated and desperate, Rai turned to social media. He shared his experience on Twitter, tagging Air India. The tweet went viral. People were outraged by the airline's incompetence and lack of customer service. Air India, now facing public scrutiny, finally responded. They claimed to have located the bag. They said their team was in contact with Rai for delivery. This was on February 25, 2025, over a month after the bag was initially lost. While Air India claims to have located the bag, there's no confirmation it was ever returned. The damage was done. The incident exposed serious flaws in Air India's operations. Pratik Rai's story is not unique. It's a stark reminder of the often frustrating and dehumanizing experience of dealing with airlines. The misplaced bag, the misinformation, the bureaucratic hurdles, the lack of communication, and the inadequate compensation all point to a systemic problem. Air India's compensation policy, based on weight rather than the actual value of the contents, is insulting. It's time for airlines to be held accountable for their mistakes. Passengers deserve better. This incident should be a wake-up call for the entire airline industry. It's time to invest in better baggage handling systems, improve interdepartmental communication, and prioritize customer service. Until then, passengers will continue to pay the price for airlines' shortcomings, and stories like Pratik Rai's will continue to make headlines.